Hola, we're the Moodys. I'm Todd, and this is my wife, Katie. 5 years ago, we moved from Madison, Mississippi to Honduras due to an unmistakable urging from God.
It was a big step of faith, but God has been incredibly faithful. We appreciate all of you who have been with us along this journey. We have 4 kids, Andrew, Connor, and Wesley, and our foster daughter, Annabella. We have had her in our home since she was 5 days old, and we have been trying to adopt her for the last 2 years.
When we arrived in Honduras, we came with an open mind on what our ministry was going to look like. We spent the first year living at a children's home, and the past 3 years we opened our home to young men who grew up in orphanages or on the streets. Over this time, we've become more aware of the issues faced by these young men. Their past traumas generally follow them from childhood into adulthood. Over 60% of children who grow up in institutions end up in a life in poverty when they are too old and have to age out of the institution. They end up back in a life of crime, back in neglect, some in prostitution, illegal immigration.
So for the past 3 years, we have welcomed these young men into our home from orphanages around Honduras, providing them with discipleship, education, and life skills. We have had over 30 young men in our program over the last few years. Each one has a different story and different dreams. We have been able to see young men graduate from vocational school and high school, and even next year we have our first college graduates. And best of all, we have seen them grow in Christ over this time.
However, we've also had to deal with many struggles from the young men, struggles from their past that come from growing up in institutionalized care. Every day is a challenge for them, a challenge to look away from their past and develop skills for reaching the goals for their future. As they've grown, so have we, and our ministry focus has begun to shift into trying to identify areas where we can work to stop these problems before they become problems.
We have exciting news for what is next. Our family is in the process of moving and settling to the north coast of Honduras in a community called La Ceiba. We have also hired a trusted Honduran family to come and live with the young men here in Tegucigalpa to continue that program and to mentor them. Our goal has always been to empower the Hondurans to help their own country through our ministries, and this is the next step for our transition program. And this also allows us to expand our reach to the other ministries God is calling us to do. So, as we continue our transition program in Tegucigalpa, we are looking forward to possibly starting a new one in La Ceiba. We are also going to switch our focus a little more into helping families stay together and improving the foster care system so that more children can grow up in a loving family.
Unfortunately, many children here in Honduras are taken away from their families due to poverty. We've learned that over 80% of children who are growing up in orphanages have at least one living relative who could care for them. The problem is the government, once they take a kid away from a family and put them into a safe environment, they generally don't have the resources to follow up and try and find out if the situation in the family has changed enough so that the kids can be placed back with their families. This leads to kids growing up for years and years in orphanages when they actually have family who could care for them. And we'd like to see this end one child at a time. So we've been developing relationships with other ministries and government agencies who are working in the area of family preservation to try and develop some resources that we can use to help and keep families together. We know that this new area of ministry will open more doors for us to be able to share the hope in Christ. The people that we serve are broken. They've dealt with poverty, neglect, abuse, trauma, and they're broken in spirit. We can't always fix their problems, but we can teach them to lean on the one who can. Through our Christian counseling, discipleship, Bible studies, and work in the local churches, we continue to see God do amazing things in healing the hearts and minds of those that we seek to serve.
After 5 years here in Honduras, we have now switched to a new sending organization that has a mission and vision that more resembles the one that we are focused on. We are excited about the new doors that serving with Legacy Mission International is opening for us.
But with this change comes a difficult challenge in trying to ensure that we have the resources available to continue to do our ministries as well as add new ministries in the area of family preservation. God has been so faithful along the way this year as we've made all of these changes, but we can't do this without you. Your prayers and your gifts are vital to our ability to continue serving here in Honduras. As of right now, about a third of our supporters have made the switch from our previous organization to Legacy Mission International.
Many of our supporters will eventually make the switch over to Legacy Mission, but others will not. So we are asking for your prayers that God will move in the hearts of those He has already called to partner with us. We miss you guys so much and appreciate your prayers and support. We hope to return to the U.S. later this year and visit with many of you personally. Hasta pronto!